Attention, please. Here's something I bet you didn't know. Not all supplements are created equal. At HealthSpan, our omega-3 oil is sustainably sourced from the South Pacific Ocean. We find our turmeric in the southern slopes of India. And our cod liver oil comes from the cold, crisp seas off Greenland. We work hard to seek out the best ingredients for our supplements, because that's the HealthSpan way. We're healthspan.co.uk. Vitamins and supplements in-store or direct to your door.
Right now, it's more vital than ever that we keep in touch. So at Labara, we're offering a great value SIM-only deal. 1,000 texts and 1,000 minutes to the UK. 100 extra minutes to 40 other countries, plus 2 gigs of data. All for just £5. No contract. You can change at any time. Not that you'd want to. Labara. Stay connected.
Vinzo. Battleborn.
Whatever your day holds, you need a breakfast that helps you get up and go. Up.
And go, go, go.
Up.
And go.
A delicious breakfast shake made with oats and milk. High in fibre, high in protein, high in calcium. Start right with Up and Go. The official breakfast partner of British Swimming. Find us in the cereal aisle.
And welcome to this wonderful London Aquatic Centre, the venue for the London Olympics, of course, from 2012, where Michael Phelps absolutely destroyed the world in so many events. I was just about to say one of those was the 200 fly, but of course, that memorable 200 fly where Chad le Clos beat Michael Phelps on the very last stroke. There is the 200 fly this evening. Really looking forward to that event where James Guy will be in the centre lane, in the Phelps lane. But this night 2 of this 5-day British Swimming Selection Trials for the Tokyo Olympics. And we start off with the women's 800 metres freestyle, the fastest heat. There was one heat this morning. And the same for the men's 800 metres freestyle, the fastest heat again. Looking for fireworks in that one. Men's 200 fly, we just talked about James Guy. And this the Phelps and Chad le Clos pool for the 200 fly, famous for that. Women's 200 backstroke, what a race that's going to be. We've got 2 swimmers ranked in the top 12 in the world in the women's 100 metres backstroke at the moment. And then a real scrap for places in the Olympic team on that men's 100 metres backstroke. Of course, the lead-off for the relay, so important, that medley relay, because Great Britain has got a cracking chance of a medal in Tokyo on that men's medley relay. And who knows, they are the world champions. Could they win gold in Tokyo? That would be something special. And then the final race is a real beauty. Women's 200 metres breaststroke. We have 2 women currently ranked in the top 8 in the world on the 200 breaststroke. That's Molly Renshaw, who's currently ranked number 3, and Abby Wood is 7th. And that's going to be a great way to close out the evening. Last night, if you missed it, we had, well, quite sensational swimming. 6 races. Each of the winners of the race beat the consideration standard for the Olympic Games that's set by British Swimming, and they're tough consideration times. They really are. Consideration times set such that if you achieve them, you certainly would expect yourself and others would expect you to make certainly the semi-finals at the Olympics and probably the finals. They're really tough. And each of the 6 swimmers who won each of the individual races last night beats that consideration standard. And what's even more exciting, in 2 of those, the swimmer who was second also beat it. In the men's 100 breaststroke, Adam Peaty went 57.3, now owns the 20 fastest swims of all time. And James Wilby, coming second, he also beat the standard. And then the men's 200 medley, Duncan Scott, a massive British record, 155.9 for the 200 medley. He won it. But Joe Litchfield is on fire, came second and also beat the qualification standard. So they put themselves forward for selection. The first selection committee meeting will be on Monday, the day after this meet closes. Excuse me. But first race is the women's 800 metres freestyle, the fastest heat. There were 3 swimmers in this morning, and I can tell you that they were the 3 slowest seed in this event. It was won by Olivia Kingsland of Nova Centurion in 9 minutes 14.6. And here's the slowest seed into this fastest heat, women's 800 metres freestyle. Amy Hood of City of Birmingham. There's Ella Dyson, the 17-year-old from Wickham District. It's a very young field, this, actually. Only one of them is over the age of 20. Freya Colbert, 4th fastest seed, was 11th on the 200 metres freestyle. That was last night. Now, Michaela Glenister. God, what a tough day she had yesterday. Tried to do the double, an incredible double it was. Tried to go 200 freestyle, the first women's event, and then the very next women's event, one race between it, one event between it was the 400 medley. Tried to go 200 free, 400 medley double. Very tough indeed, that was. Leah Crisp, fastest seed into this final, National Centre swimmer from Bath, originally from Wakefield, former City of Leeds swimmer. Emily Clark of Loughborough University. The oldest in the field at just 23, a really young field, very exciting indeed. Lauren Weatherall of Ellesmere College in 2, and a teammate from Ellesmere College, Amelia Rodd, will be in 1. There's Amelia. 16 lengths to the pool, 800 metres freestyle. It is the fastest heat. I was just about to tell you the results from this morning of the first heat. It was the slower of the 2 heats. 9:14 won it. There's the confirmation of the starters, though. Leah Crisp goes in as the fastest seed, and then it's spearheaded out from there. So Glenister 2nd fastest, Clark 3rd, Colbert 4th, and so on. Well, the British record set way back in 2008 by the great Rebecca Adlington. Her time 8 minutes 14. Goodness me. Olympic champion she was out there in Beijing on that 800 and the 400 freestyle as well. The final heat of the women's 800 metres freestyle, the fastest 8 swimmers on entry time. And the entries here for this British swimming selection trials for the Tokyo Olympics, well, they've really had to pare them down. There was an awful lot of swimmers qualified. It would have been a great fun meet. It's normally a selection trial for European juniors, maybe for world juniors, a great experienced meet as well. They normally add a couple of 13-year-old qualification times so the youngsters can come and see all the big guns in action. And I know that's provided several future Olympians that program. A really good idea. Unfortunately, with this bubble here, they can only manage a finite number of swimmers, so they've had to really pare it down. And I know that Mount Kelly had 50 qualifiers, 50 swimmers qualifying, and they've had to pare it down into the teens. Unfortunately, they just had to keep on cutting because they can't manage that many people within the bubble. It's very strict indeed, but for good reason. First 100 metres, Leah Crisp looking quite comfortable, 1:03.08. Colbert 3/100ths of a second behind her in lane number 6 in that green hat. Lovely long stroke, nice high elbow recovery. Well, we won't be expecting these women really to be pushing the consideration standard that has been set by the British Swimming Association of 8:22. I think that's probably a little bit out of their reach at the moment, but with 7 of these 8 swimmers as teenagers, the future is very bright indeed for 2024. And normally you say another Olympic cycle, another 4 years. It's only 3 years away, of course. Just over 1,000 days away. It's the next Olympics after Tokyo. Extraordinary. The bright pink suit in the centre of Leah Crisp. Very good open water swimmer, actually. Very good indeed. So swimming here in the 800 freestyle. I think she's in the 1500 as well. Was 10th on the 200 free. She went 2:01.8. So Crisp in the centre. I said former City of Leeds swimmer. David Denigan, her coach there in Leeds, really nurtured her through, and then she's just joined the Bath National Centre just last year. And really enjoying it, 19-year-old. So that was the 250 metre turn. This is the 300 turn. So coming up, so there'll be 6 lengths to go. Actually, that's not true, is it? 6 lengths down. 10 to go. Hope they don't stop with another 6 lengths. That wouldn't be great. So Crisp over first, going with her, tracking her, Emily Clark of Loughborough University. And the time, well, really all about experience here. The right to come and swim and train and experience this really bizarre, this whole bubble. British Swimming done a fantastic job of putting this meet on. I mean, how they've done it, so many people have worked extraordinarily hard to make sure that this meet can happen. The protocols around COVID are very, very strict indeed, as you'd hope. You don't want anybody giving our superstar swimmers, our swimmers going to Tokyo, I don't want any of them giving them anything that could have any detrimental effect on their performance for Tokyo. And Adam Peaty actually just swam the 100 metres breaststroke yesterday, just swam the heat in 57.7, swam the final 57.3, now owns the fastest 20 times in the world in history. That is phenomenal. So the fastest seed is Leah Crisp. She's first to turn at the halfway mark in this first race of the evening finals. It's the final heat, the fastest heat of the women's 800 metres freestyle. There were 3 swimmers this morning. Livia Kingsland of Nova won it in 9 minutes 14.66. Catherine Bailey of Perth City, 9:17.63 was second, and then Kaylin Hoare of Aberdeen Performance, 9:24.7 was third. It's the 450 metre turn. And still going well is Leah. She set herself a really good momentum. Also trying to go with her. 1 lane up is Emily Clark. of Loughborough University, and then 1 lane up again from her, Lauren Weatherall, the 18-year-old from Ellesmere College, was 14th on the 200 free. Well, certainly I think Tokyo might arrive a little bit too early for the women in this race, but really looking forward to them building and learning from the experience that they've got here. Who knows how long these protocols will last, but there really have been some tough ones, but certainly ones that aren't impossible to deal with. Normally when you take your clothes off before you get in for the race, you put them in a little basket and then somebody takes your basket away for you. Well, here you've got to stick it in your own plastic bag, and then you've got to carry your own plastic bag away. Not a hardship, it's just different. Quite a lot of different things. You've got to wear a mask everywhere. It's different. It's not a hardship, it's just different. And I know a lot of the coaches have been talking an awful lot about just making sure that it becomes normal. It's no big deal. And certainly in Tokyo, the swimmers, the Olympic team members are going to be facing an awful lot of very tight protocols. Fantastic, the meet's going ahead anyway. So this is the 600-metre turn. In the centre, Leah Crisp has led almost from the gun. 4 lengths to go, 12 lengths down. First over is Leah, second Emily Clark. Third up there in lane 2, just turning now, is Lauren Weatherall of Ellesmere College. And fourth is just outside the picture on the right-hand side is Freya Colbert of Nova Centurion. She's kept her legs going well, really has. Driving those legs. Surfs a little bit on that right hand when she puts it in. Places the hand nicely out in front of her, then tries to pull her body over her arm. Really looking good. She actually looks like she's starting to accelerate already. Well, there were 3 lengths to go at that last turn, and she looks like you see her legs bubbling the water a little bit harder, a little bit faster. This is an impressive swim. Her entry time was 8 minutes 40.09. She's going to be a little bit outside of that with 100 metres to go. Turning in 7:40, just about 7:40.01. So she'll be about, I guess, 7:47, 7:48, something like that. Just maybe just under 7:50. Excuse me, 8:50. But no doubt about the winner of this British Swimming Selection Trial 800 metres freestyle for women. The depth in the women's 800 freestyle just at the moment in Great Britain isn't particularly strong, and certainly Leah Crisp taking great advantage of that. But Becky Adlington, well, 8 minutes 14 she went to win the Olympics in 2008. And then Jazz Carling, silver medal at the 800 metres freestyle in Rio. Actually set her Welsh record in Berlin at the European Championships in 2014. So Leah Crisp is going to win the first race of this evening, the women's 800 metres freestyle. The time a little bit outside of her best. She came back well. She came back very well, 8:44. That was the 64-second last 100. I wonder if she can pace that a little bit more evenly, because 64 at the end is really good, really puffing a lot. She's certainly out of breath. I mean, that was a fantastic last 100. That was excellent. So Crisp wins it. Second was Emily Clark of Loughborough. Third, Lauren Weatherall of Ellesmere College. And Freya Colbert was fourth. But there is the winner. Oh, dear. God, dear. I couldn't even imagine. 16 lengths of the pool. Oh, it was 100 metres butterfly swimmer. I get down there, I come back, get out, go and have a shower. I'm very happy. The 200 butterfly swimmers, goodness knows, they're a breed apart. So, result of the women's 800 metres freestyle, the fastest heat. Leah Crisp wins it, 8:44.6, just outside her lifetime best. Emily Clark second, Lauren Weatherall third, and Freya Colbert fourth. Of course, the distance events, probably those which have suffered the most in terms of lack of ability to get in and do those hard yards, the real difficult winter training yards. So not really too unexpected to have a slightly slower time than your lifetime best just at the moment, but a very, very good swim indeed from Leah Crisp. And at just 19 years of age, she's only going to be 22 when Paris comes around. So if you haven't been watching so far, I can tell you that there are a couple of officials just walking along with a little bottle of disinfectant, and they're spraying each of the chairs where the athletes have had their training kit. But anyway, that's a really good 800 metres freestyle, and winning the British Swimming Selection Trials on the 800 free was Leah Crisp from the Bath National Centre. And hopefully she's going to be able to get her breath back in a second and have a quick chat with our Olympic silver medalist on the 800 metres freestyle from Rio. It's Jazz Carling.
Leah, a really strong swim. 16 laps of the pool is always tough, and getting that pacing right, but a really strong swim, and you must be happy with the win tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I did really want the win coming into it. That's what I got. Would have liked to have had dip under 8:40 mark the first time, but next time.
Yeah, and you've made the transition. We've traditionally seen you represent Leeds, and you've moved down to Bath. How are you finding that change?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it in Bath, but it has been a big change, kind of like moving away from home and starting uni and studying and things. So it took a while to adapt, but yeah, really enjoying it.
That's great. And obviously we're seeing you later in the week. Are we seeing you in the 400 and 1500 coming up?
Yeah, definitely. Got those to look forward to now.
Exactly. Well, good luck, and congratulations on getting the win tonight, and we look forward to seeing you in the rest of the week.
Thank you.
Well, it was a good solid swim. COVID really has messed with many of these swimmers' training programs, and certainly the distance swimmers. You've got a feel for them. But at least the elite swimmers have been allowed back in the water, and so looking forward to, I call it the masses, everybody, all the age groupers, all the senior swimmers, all the masters swimmers, all the social swimmers. Really looking forward to everybody getting back into the pool and back on it. And what was really amazing, a little bit of heart for all of you who haven't been training so far, talking to all the coaches, they've been amazed at how quickly the swimmers have got back into it. And certainly some of the swimmers have swum brilliantly off not an awful lot of training after a very long period of time out of the water. Some fantastic swims, quite a few British records during the ISL season, the International Swimming League season, which was back in November, December time. Well, the next race up is going to be a cracker. It's the men's 800 metres freestyle. And after last night, where we saw something utterly astonishing, I have to say, by the winner of the 400 metres freestyle, Kieran Bird, set a lifetime best by 5 seconds to win the British Swimming Selection Trial for the Tokyo Olympics on the 400 metres freestyle. What can he do on the 800? The selection consideration time is quick. 7 minutes 49.9 for an 800 metres freestyle, 7:49.9. So basically the target, pretty simple, get under 7 minutes and 50, and you've got a cracking chance of being considered for the Olympic team when the selectors meet the day after this meet closes on Monday. Josh Williams of Wickham District is in lane 8 in 7. The second, or the third slowest seed, I would say, William Riley of Bath University. And 6, William Bell of Loughborough. And Tony Robinson, also of the Loughborough National Centre, in 5. In 4, Dan Jervis. Well, really swam very well on the 400 metres freestyle, was right on his lifetime best on the 400, but Kieran Bird, here he is, just swam out of his skin. Lifetime best was over 350, went 3:46.00, beat the qualification standard, won the race, and so his name is firmly in the hat for a ticket to Tokyo. Luke Turley in 2, look out for him as well, swam a lifetime best by 7.5 seconds on the 400 free. And he can go very fast indeed on this 800. And Josh Weston of Wickham and District is the 7th seed. He'll be in lane 1 in this final heat. of the men's 800 metres freestyle. Really looking forward to this. Dan Jervis in 4. The new champion on the 400 metres freestyle, Kieran Bird in 3. Turley in 2. Robinson in 5 is not slow at all. He's been training with Dave Hemmings at the Loughborough National Centre. He's an open water swimmer, but having a go on the 800 and the 1500 metres freestyle. He's been training very well, I believe, so that's going to be interesting to see. Another big lifetime best in 6 for William Bell on the 400 metres freestyle. He was 5th on that in a 3:50, 3.5 second lifetime best. Here we go, 800 freestyle. The time they're looking for, 7:49.96. So 16 lengths to the pool, and these guys very, very quick indeed. Well, the qualification standard, if they do it at 7:49.9, would place the swimmer just at that qualification standard, would place them number 6 in the world this year. That's how tough it is. It really isn't easy. And Dan Jervis in that green hat right in the centre from Swansea University. Swam a really good 400 free. Just outside of his lifetime best on that 400 3:47. Really good. And Jervis leading. Look at that spearhead. Perfect just at the moment. I would imagine Kieran Bird will just try and track him. Bird 1 lane up in the black hat and then 1 lane closer to us from Jervis. The leader is Toby Robinson of Loughborough National Centre. So Jervis first, 55.6, half a second ahead of Kieran Bird and Toby Robinson. Well, I wonder how Kieran slept last night. He must have been so excited. His face, I've not seen a bigger smile as that for an awful long time. It was an absolute picture when he finished on the 400 metres freestyle. Looked at his time, 3:46, won the Olympic trial in a time almost a second under the qualification consideration standard. Utterly brilliant. Look at this. Well, that was the 150 metre turn, and Toby Robinson, the open water swimmer, looks like he's starting to make a move already. he's got 13 lengths left still to go. It's a long way. It's a brave move. Dan Jervis in the green hat tracked him. Lovely stroke from Jervis. Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Robinson over first, Jervis second, Kieran Bird third. And Bird, well, it looks like he's swimming a fairly sensible race after last night's fireworks. The top of those 3. Still going pretty well in the bright pink suit. 1 lane closer to us from the leader is William Bell of Loughborough University. There is William, that pink suit. Can't miss that, can you? But Robinson over first, and maybe just taken, I don't know, 40, 50 centimetres, half a metre or so out of the field, just going into that turn. He's got very good turns. Being an open water swimmer, wouldn't necessarily expect that, but he really is very good indeed. And as he's starting to make a move, is he starting to push it, seeing if he can break Dan Jervis and Kieran Bird early on. This is the 300 metre turn of 800 metres, so they've got 10 lengths to go still. He's a long way out. He's used to a long way. Open water swimming, 5K, 10K, Olympic length 10K, of course, 10 kilometres, and 25 kilometres. Can you imagine that? Goodness me. Well, Robinson looking really good. Jervis not dropped yet. Bird had an amazing turn of speed on that last 50 last night on the 400 metres freestyle. I think he split 26 points on the last 50 of the 400 free to win the trial. Just needs to stay in there, hang with them at the moment. So it's Robinson, Jervis, Bird, then Bell, and then very tight for 5th and 6th at the moment. Maybe just Luke Turley up the top there. And William Riley of Bath University closer to us. So that's the halfway mark, the 400 metres turn in this the final heat of the men's 800 metres freestyle, and they're going well. They're going very well at the moment. They are on track for the consideration time. They probably need to just pick it up a little bit at the moment, and it does look like, look at the legs, look at the splash. It looks like Toby Robinson starting to work a little bit harder again. But Jervis and Bird will not be dropped at the moment. They're hanging really tough. Nice and quick over is Robinson. Good butterfly kick underwater from Jervis, and Jervis looks like he's starting to respond. Kieran Bird's going to have to go with him as well. Bird's still got that turn of speed that is just deadly. Absolute nitro he was down that last 50 of the 400 freestyle. Needs to hang in there again. I don't think he got much sleep last night. I was talking to his coach earlier on, and he didn't get much last night. I don't know how much he's had this afternoon. Hopefully he was able to sleep a little bit during the day. And I think Jervis is just starting to catch a little bit now. That's the 500-metre turn, and Jervis just starting to turn it up a little bit. Robinson breathing to his left, Jervis to his right, and Jervis certainly starting to pick it up, and going with him again is Kieran Bird. Bird now just on the suit of Jervis. Is Jervis making that big move right now? If I was Jervis, I'd want to have a little bit of clear water with maybe 100 metres to go between me and Kieran Bird in 3, because his speed is quite tremendous. Jervis, of course, a brilliant 400 and 1500 metre swimmer, British champion on 400 and 1500 metres back in 2019, just 2 years ago. Look at this, starting to take the lead with 4 lengths to go. The 600-metre turn in this final heat of the men's 800 freestyle. Jervis now over first, back into the lead. Second, Tony Robinson. He's been overtaken just, but still going well. And third, well, Kieran Bird has almost got him on a string at the moment. Hardly any difference at all between Kieran Bird at the top of those 3 and Dan Jervis in the centre. Maybe now Jervis is starting to go. Look at the legs go. I think he needs a little bit of clear water. This is going to be fascinating down this last 3 lengths of this 800 metres freestyle. There's almost clear water now. Look at Jervis's legs. He's made a conscious effort really to go now, and look at this. This is going to hurt. He's gone a long way out. He's gone an awful long way out. Toby Robinson's starting to struggle a little bit to keep up, but it's a fast race, this, a very fast race. Can they get under the 7 minutes 50? They've got some work to do if they're going to do that. Oh, it's going to be tight. They're going to come back in, what, a 57 or so? First is Jervis, second is Bird, third is Robinson. And if Bird is going to win the 800 alongside the 400, he's got to go now, because Jervis looks really good. Jervis from Swansea University. He doesn't look like he's going to be caught at the moment. It's definitely not quite over yet, but Jervis does look very, very good indeed. Commonwealth Games silver medalist on the 1500 metres freestyle, has such fantastic endurance. First over, good underwater, big breath off the wall. Now here comes Kieran Bird. Has he left it a little bit too late? Here he comes. Oh my goodness me, it's, I think it's going to be a little bit too much, but he's certainly having a crack at it. Dan Jervis breathing to his right-hand side. He's still got a little bit left as Dan Jervis, but still catching is Kieran Bird. He's got about 7-8 metres to go at the moment. It looks like Jervis is going to have swum a tactically brilliant race. Oh, that's close. 1 stroke in it at the end. Dan Jervis is the champion on the men's 800 metres freestyle at this British Swimming Selection Trials. And the time, oh, agonisingly just outside of the consideration time. 7 minutes 50.33. Just 0.37 of a second outside the consideration time. 37/100ths of a second over nearly 8 minutes. Oh, it's brutal. They do have more time to qualify. There's other meets. They'll go to the European Championships possibly. That's going to be a selection meet to top up the team. 35 swimmers can be selected by Great Britain Swimming. I would imagine they'll probably take most of that if they can. Trying to use the bulk of the selections here, but then they will top it up. European Championships, maybe some of the Grand Prix circuit in Europe, maybe the Barcelona meet, maybe the Cannes meet, and then there'll be another meet in Glasgow as the final selection meet. So Dan Jervis, a really well-paced swim, a perfectly paced swim, just outside, though, of that qualification standard of 7:49.96, 7:50.33. He wins the trial on the 800 metres freestyle at fastest heat. Kieran Bird, well, I think he's booked his place after winning the 400 freestyle in that 3:46. That was brilliant. And a good swim from Luke Turley, a really good swim from him. And Toby Robinson worked so hard for so long. Very good. So there, normally your kit is carried for you to the side of the pool, but trying to minimise the number of people who touch your kit. Very sensible. Not really a hardship, is it? Carry your own bag. Go on. And there is the new 400 metres champion, Kieran Bird. Well, that was a hard swim, a really tough swim. But after a 3:46 last night, I still can't get over that. His best time was 3:50, and he went 3:46. Gracious me. Outstanding swim. Well, from one Welsh woman to the Welsh champion on that 800 metres freestyle, from an 800 metres freestyler to another. Two great swimmers, Jazz Carling, talking to Dan Jervis.
Dan, a tough race out there. There was 3 of you in a line and you managed to get the touch just off the consideration time, but again, a really solid swim.
Yes, thank you. I am happy with that swim, actually. You know, I was just off the consideration time, as you just said, but coming into this swim today, I wasn't feeling my best. I was tired. Obviously, emotions still running high from last night. So, you know, I can only take positives from this. Yeah, I didn't get the consideration time tonight, but I'm going to smash it on Sunday night.
That's exactly what we want to hear, and amazing to hear the coaches and swimmers here. What have your preparations been like coming into this? We've heard from your coach that you've been in great form in training.
I've been very fortunate, actually, you know. Training in Swansea, you know, we've only had a certain amount of swimmers that have been able to be in the pool in Wales, and so I feel as my job and the rest, I think I speak for everyone that swims in Swansea as well. I feel like this competition, I'm kind of swimming for the guys who are not able to train and are still not able to train at the moment in Wales. So, you know, to those guys who are not able to swim at the moment, you know, keep going, guys, you're doing well.
Oh, Dan, that is so incredible to hear, and I know a lot of people will be supporting you back home all around the country, but especially from Swansea and your family at home. Obviously, they'll be supporting you, and we can't wait to watch you in the 1500 coming up later in the week, so well done.
Thank you very much, and just a shout out to my family and especially my grandparents back home. I love you guys.
Lots of love to Wales.
Well, a Welsh love in there, definitely, with Jazz Carling talking to the champion of the men's 800 metres freestyle, Dan Jervis, but he's got his best event still to come when he says he's going to smash it on Sunday night. I'm absolutely sure he will do that on that 1500 metres freestyle, his best event. The longer the better. Can you imagine having that as your motto? The longer the better, flipping heck. So the next race up is the men's 200 metres butterfly. And one of the toughest events on the calendar. Absolutely used to hate this one. I was a fly swimmer, but trying to turn around after 100 metres and do it again. You've got to be a different breed to do that. But James Guy has taken it on as one of his new events. He's dropped that 400 metres freestyle that he was so good at. World Championship silver medalist on the 400 metres freestyle back in 2015. And he's taken this up, the 200 fly. An event that was owned by Michael Phelps. It was his. But time waits for no man, as they say, and already Michael Phelps' world record has gone. And it's now held by Christoph Milak of Hungary. 1 minute 50.7 for 200 metres butterfly. Turned in a 52.8. Oh my goodness. That's extraordinary. Well, I'm not embarrassed to say, delighted I won my Olympic medal back in 1988, and my time was 53.3, and Milak turned in 52.8, going through to his 200. My goodness. This, the final of the men's 200 fly. Cole Hewitt of Swansea in 8, Goodman of Loughborough in 7, Rhys Edwards of Swansea Aquatics in 6, Jay Lelliott in 5. And now James Guy, the owner of 2 Olympic silver medals, multiple world champion. And the 200 metres freestyle on relays, the men's 4x2, and of course that men's 4x100 medley relay, which was an utterly brilliant swim, where we beat the Americans at the World Championships in 2019 in Guangzhou. In 3, Ed Mildred of Northampton, the European Youth Olympic Festival silver medalist on this 200 fly. In 2, Thomas Bealey of Plymouth Leander, and Freddie Clampett, also of Plymouth Leander, goes in lane 1. So Plymouth in 1 and 2, Northampton 3, and James Guy in 4. Well, his coach now, Dave McNulty, and very interesting talking to Dave McNulty. What a sensible guy he is. I have really enjoyed talking to the coaches here, and some of the stuff they say. I mean, it's wonderful to hear people right at the top of their game, right at the top of their profession. One of the best coaches in the world. I think he's had 6 Olympic medals as Dave McNulty. Just when he explains stuff, it's so straightforward and so simple. 200 fly. Look at that guy. He's in wonderful shape. I haven't seen him in that good shape for a long time. Interesting. One of the things coming out of COVID is that everybody's looked after themselves so well. They haven't really got very sick at all. So lost training days really down. James Guy's been at every single training session. Gets great confidence from being fit, and needs it for this event, the 200 fly, but he's in super shape. Guy in 4, Jay Lelliott in 5 from City of Sheffield. So 4 lengths butterfly, the final of the men's 200 fly. The qualification standard they're looking for 1 minute 55.45. 1:55.4. So James Guy, if he's going to do it, needs a lifetime best, as does everybody in this field. I think he's going for it. Goodness me. Well, the world record was set up for 24.6. It's underneath world record pace. James, oh, this is going to hurt. I mean, this is going to be an absolutely super swim to watch. Look at that. That's the red marker, 75 metres. He's about 7 metres ahead already. Goodness me. I wonder if he's going for a time on the 100. He can't be. 200 fly. Well, this is going to be really interesting. The world record is set off 52.88. 53.0. He's still right on world record pace. James Guy, surely he can't bring this back. I mean, if he does that, that would be extraordinary. The qualification standard 1:55.45. And that time would place him 6th in the world at the moment. And he does hang tough. He's a 400 metres freestyler. In the history, he's done some super silver medalist at the World Championships in 400 metres freestyle. Just a little bit of a glide into that final turn. His time, 1:22.8, is still very good, you know, very good indeed. He's now 1.3 seconds outside of the world record, but this is a good swim if he can hold on. I wonder if the British record is on. It's going to be close, you know, 1:54.5. It's Michael Rocks. It was set in Rome in 2009, a long time ago. Coming back in 2nd place now in the red hat is Jay Lelliott of Sheffield. Oh, he's hurting now. Oh, he's really hurting now. Come on, James Guy. 1:55.45 is the target time. 1:55.4. Oh, he's done it. Well done. Oh, well done. Punches the water. Well, the timekeeper's got wet trousers, but I'm sure they won't be at all worried. 1:55.20. That's 25/100ths of a second inside the qualification consideration time. A really great swim that was. A gutsy swim. He was out so fast. Oh, my word. Oh, the pain. The pain, oh, must be off the scale. Oh. So James Guy wins the men's 200 metres butterfly at this British Swimming Selection Trials for the Tokyo Olympics in a time underneath the consideration standard. So I have to say, I think he's just booked his ticket to Tokyo. The selectors will meet on Monday, but it's going to be very, very hard not to select him now. A great swim from him, and also a really good swim from Jay Lelliott in second place. Jay's time 1:56.76, and that's 1.3 seconds under his lifetime best. Really good from him. And in third was Mildred, a lifetime best for him as well. Quite extraordinary. Goodness me. Underneath world record pace at the 50, just off it at the 100. Well, if he can go that fast out on a 200 fly, what can he go on the 100? And that is great news for Great Britain, because that men's 4x100 medley relay, James Guy's the fly swimmer at the moment on it. Of course, he's still got to win the trial and take it, but we are world champions on that men's 4x100 medley relay. And if we can get a decent backstroke start, then you've got Adam Peaty, then you've got maybe James Guy, and then you've got Duncan Scott at the moment on the final leg. And they're split at the 100 metres, 53.02. 53.0. Wow. I can't believe he's able to walk. There he is. Oh, it was such an incredible first 50 metres, first 75. He was about 8 metres ahead after 75 metres. If he can speak, I hope he can, because I'd love to hear what he has to say about those tactics. It worked, and it worked well. He came here to win the trial, and he came here to go underneath the qualification standard, and he's just done both. Wow. 1:55.2. Well, let's hear what he has to say. James Guy now talking to Jazz Carling.
James, that looked like a really gutsy swim out there. It looked like it hurt on the last 10 metres, but it must feel great knowing you've got that consideration time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's nice to come here and do the 200 butterfly. Haven't done one like this for a long time, and you know, the time wasn't really in my head because it's like a main event, but to go that qualifying time's a great start to the week.
And out in 53.02, which is a cracking first 100, that is looking great for the 100 coming up later in the week.
Yeah, it is. I was talking to Dave McMinotti, my coach, before, and target is to go out 54.0, but 3.0 shows the speeds there, so hopefully a good 100 as well.
That's great, James. Congratulations on getting the consideration time. We can't wait to watch you in the rest of the week.
Cool, thank you very much.
What a swim. Delighted for him, absolutely delighted for him. That is a tough event, the 200 fly, and he's just taken it on, and it was a brilliant swim. 1:55.2. That places him 5th fastest in the world this year. Milak way ahead with a 1:51.4 set at the Hungarian Spring Nationals, but 5th fastest in the world. That's a great swim. Interestingly, 2nd fastest, Federico Bedisso of Italy, who won their trials, trained at Mount Kelly down in Tavistock in Devon for a long time. Just graduated last year. And he went 1:54.4. Well, that's a great swim. I think he can go fast as well. If he just eases off a little bit down that first 100, I think he'll give himself an awful lot more energy down the second. One of the most gutsy 200 fly swims I've ever seen, though. Well, that was a cracker. Delighted for James Guy making that team, I think. Selectors will, I'm sure, confirm that on Monday. And this event, goodness me, it really has come on in leaps and bounds recently. We've had Georgia Davis for quite a long time out on her own, and suddenly Kathleen Dawson whacks in a 58.6, Cassie Wilde whacks in a 59.5, and with Georgia Davis's lifetime best at 59.3, this is going to be one heck of a final. All three of them are in it. Charlotte Evans of Loughborough University in 8, Honey Osrin of Plymouth Leander did a lifetime best to qualify. Here she is, the European champion on the 50 metres backstroke, Georgia Davis, the Welsh record holder on the 100. And I think she's going to have to go close to, if not underneath that Welsh record, if she's going to get one of those top 2 finishes in this 100 backstroke. because Cassie Wilde has been very fast indeed. And Kathleen Dawson, here she is. Well, she's world ranked number 2. Swam a 58.6 at a trial recently in Manchester. 58.6, stunning swim. Meddy Harris of Swim Gwynedd in lane 3. Set a lifetime best to qualify, 60.95. Really great heat from her. Alicia Wilson in 2, and then Lauren Cox of City of Coventry in 1. Fascinating story from Kathleen in the centre. There is Lauren Cox, the 7th fastest seed after the heats this morning on this 100 metres backstroke for women. But Kathleen had a really good year in 2016, her A-level year. She actually was a part of the British development squad that was chosen to come along for experience and attend the European Championships alongside the main squad. Kathleen in lane 4, next to Cassie Wilde and Georgia Davis in 6. So she was on that development squad, came 3rd in the European Championships out of nowhere, won a bronze medal. Unfortunately, they'd already closed the selection for the Olympic team, but swam brilliantly there. Then the year after, 2018, tore ACL, took a year off in 2019, refound the love of swimming, and my goodness me, she's exploded, 58.6. Needs to do it in this final. The final of the women's 100 metres backstroke, the fastest seed, world ranked number 2, Kathleen Dawson, right in the centre. Oh, using all of that 15 metres underwater right in the centre in that black hat. The white hat of Cassie Wilde, 1 lane closer to us. And then Georgia Davis, the 50 sprinter specialist in lane 6. But Kathleen Dawson gone off really well. And Dawson looks good. Hopefully they'll push each other to a really quick time. This looks really good. Dawson over first. A very fast split. What was that? 28.2. Good underwater as well. And Dawson looks good. Wilde also going well. Georgia Davis not out of it at all. But they really need to bring it back down this last 25 metres. And the 100 metres backstroke for women in the world at the moment is pretty quick. New world record set at 57.5, but this is a great swim. The British record, 58.12, and the consideration time is 60. Oh, that's a great swim, 58.24. Oh, my goodness me, that's the 2nd fastest person in the world this year. Kathleen Dawson, 58.2, backing up a 58.6 from the time trial in Manchester in March. 58.2. 2nd was Cassie Wilde, 59.5, also under the consideration standard. So both University of Stirling swimmers beating that consideration standard to go to the Olympic Games. And 3rd from the University of Swansea. Swansea University was Georgia Davis, just over a minute 0.01. 58.2. Well, the fastest in the world this year is Kaylee McKeon of Australia, 57.9. So she's just a quarter of a second behind her. And then after that, Kira Toussaint of the Netherlands, 58.9. 7/10 of a second behind. The Americans still have to have their trials, of course, and the world record holder, Regan Smith, will go in that. But goodness me, 58.2, and she looked great. Great attack down that first 50. Used all of the 15 metres underwater, I have to say. Brilliant swim. Well, 2018, tore her ACL. Took a year off in 2019. She's had all the COVID issues about training. She's just gone 58.2. Wow. And 2 University of Stirling swimmers, their coach, Steve Tigg, is going to be absolutely cock-a-hoop with that. Brilliant swimming, and it's also wonderful news from the British relays perspective, because that women's medley relay now, with that on the front leg, a backstroke, the breaststroke is getting better. The fly was really good. We had an individual qualifier winning the 100 fly, and of course you've got some great freestylers. Freya Anderson is wicked on the last 100, but there's others as well. 2 University of Stirling swimmers going underneath the consideration standard, winning it. Kathleen Dawson, the second fastest time in the world this year, and Cassie Wild second. And delighted to say both Kathleen and Cassie now talking with Jazz Carling.
What an incredible final. It's great to have you both here and both under the consideration time. Kathleen, let's start with you. Just 0.1 off the British and European record, which was the world record back in 2009. How was that swim for you?
I'm completely delighted with it. I didn't quite expect to go as fast as that, but I'm over the moon. And to have gone the consideration time with Cassie is just even better. So,
obviously, we saw you race in Manchester and race world-class times there. Obviously, your coaches must have known that you had that swim in you, but to do it with your teammate, how does that make you feel, knowing that you can do it together?
I can't thank Brad and Steve enough, and my coach from back at Warriors, Darren. I wouldn't be here without him either, and my family. There's just too many people I need to thank for this.
Congratulations. And Cassie, under the consideration time too, and another amazing swim. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm absolutely over the moon with that. Yeah, like Kat said, it's nice to like us do it together.
And how have training been going and your preparations been coming into this?
Yeah, it's been going quite well. So I was hoping to be under consideration time, and seeing everyone from Stirling swim so well yesterday, it really made me excited to race today.
Well, we loved watching you both. It was incredible to see you both go under the time, and congratulations from everyone at home. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, that was fantastic. It really was. And the time from Cassie, I didn't tell you, was actually the 9th fastest time in the world this year. So world ranked 2 and 9 on the women's 100 backstroke. Certainly wouldn't have said that 12 months ago, going into lockdown. 2 swimmers ranked in the top 10 in the world on the women's 100 meters backstroke. 58.2, just outside the British record. The British record set by Gemma Spofford when she won the World Championships in one of those shiny suits, the non-textile suits. Now been banned, of course. So the next race up, we just had the women's 100 metres backstroke. Now we've got the men's 100 back. And this is going to be really interesting because Luke Greenbank, pre-selected for the British Olympic team from his exploits at the World Championships 2 years ago when he won a bronze medal on the 200 back at the Worlds. Selection policy said if you win a medal, an individual medal at the World Championships, you're pre-selected for the Olympic Games. We had 4 of them. Of course, Duncan Scott, Luke Greenbank, and then our 2 wonderful breaststrokers, Adam Peaty and James Wilby. So, men now parading for this men's 100 metres backstroke final. Liam White, 8th seed coming into this championship and has qualified in 8th fastest time. Jonathan Adam, huge lifetime best from Bath National Centre. Another one of Joel Fink's swimmers to qualify in 7th. 6th, lane 6, Elliot Clogg. And 5th there is Luke Greenbank. He's actually recently turned his ankles, had a really nasty ankle sprain. Just walking along, just went over on it. So the timing for this trial, really not great at all, but a fantastic backstroke, and I'm sure that will recover the next couple of weeks or so, and he'll be back and ready. Pre-selected, of course. Joe Litchfield has had a super meet so far. Did the qualification stand on the men's 200 medley and coming second behind Duncan Scott. Brodie Williams, well, he's got a shot of making this team as well, an outside shot, certainly in lane 3. Craig McNally, a great 200 backstroke. This may be a little bit short for him. British champion on 200 backstroke back in 2013 from the University of Stirling. Well, he's just seen 2 of his female colleagues go 1-2 on the 100 backstroke for women. Wonder if he can do a similar thing on the men's race. Daniel Cross of Loughborough University going in lane 1. So the big boys in the centre on this 100 backstroke. Williams in 3, Litchfield in 4, Greenbank in 5, Clogg in 6. It's going to be hard to call, really, really hard, particularly with, I'd normally say Greenbank would have been the favourite, but with that relatively recently badly sprained ankle, and how you do a backstroke start with an ankle like that, I've no idea. That is Joe Litchfield. What a great 200 medley he had. A really brilliant swim. Last night, our first night of the British Swimming Selection Trials, 6 races, all 6 winners underneath the consideration time set by British Swimming, and it's a really tough time. Probably expected to make Olympic final if you make an individual race. The policy's working very well. What can happen here? This is a tough consideration time, this one, really tough. 53.85. Litchfield in 4, Greenbank in 5. They're at 15 metres underwater. They've got to come up before that little red marker. Oh, and they all just do. Very close indeed, but they did a good job. And look at Joe Litchfield go in lane number 4. A great attack, and he's going really quickly down the first 30 metres here. As long as he can hold water, hold stroke, if this is easy speed for him. He swam a brilliant 200 metres individual medley last night. Is he over first? Yes, he is. 25.9. That's quick to his feet. Williams second. Greenbank, the specialist on the 200 metres backstroke, turning in third with that slightly dodgy ankle in lane 5, but he looks good at the moment. Slightly coming back now is Luke Greenbank. Litchfield holding on at the moment, but coming back one lane closer to us with that bright green suit is Greenbank, and it's going to be really tight on this finish. The time we're looking for, 53.85. 53.85 is the consideration time. Get the touch. What is the time? Just outside of that. Oh, 19 100ths of a second. 54.04 wins it. And that was Joe Litchfield by 8 100ths of a second ahead of his teammate Luke Greenbank in second. Clog in third, 54.6. Wow, that was close. 8 100ths splitting the first two. Litchfield wins it. Second, Greenbank. Third, Clog. But outside of the Olympic consideration time, they've still got several meets to do it at, though. Europeans, of course, coming up where they can do it. A couple of European Grand Prix meets they can go to if they wish. And then that final time trial selection meet up in Glasgow. So both of those guys, well, Luke Greenbank certainly, I'd remind you, is pre-selected. There is Joe Litchfield. Very interesting, because I think Joe Litchfield already booked his ticket for that 200 medley. He came second, and the selection policy says you've got to win and go underneath the consideration time. But he was second, but in a super time. World ranked top 10 this year. So I think he will have got a ticket from that. Maybe not selected immediately. Maybe they'll keep it open for a little bit, so they don't close it out, because they'll certainly be selecting Duncan Scott, who won the 200 medley. But I think Litchfield will be on the plane. And then Greenbank, well, he's pre-selected for the 200 metres backstroke. So the 1-2 on the 100, neither qualifying, doing the qualification standard, but I think both will be out there anyway. So if nobody else goes anywhere near it, the headache of selection for the lead-off of the relay, a little bit less, because you'll have your 2 fastest swimmers at the moment there. Which one do you choose? Greenbank's lifetime best 53.7. He just went 54.1 with a dodgy ankle. So let's see what the boys have to say. Jazz Carling now talking to them.
Joe, we saw an incredible swim last night in the 200 IM, getting under that consideration time, just off in the 100 backstroke there, that consideration time. What were your expectations coming into this event?
Expectations, get the consideration time. Obviously, it doesn't always happen, but I think I know I went wrong. I wasn't out fast enough to 50, so it's just something to work on. There's more chances to get the time, obviously, in the future. But yeah, I'm happy with that. It's PB, but I think, obviously, I take the steps in the future to make get it faster, sorry.
At Loughborough, they really tend to focus on a lot of the technical side of it. We see your underwaters, they're incredible. What work have you been doing with the coaches and the support team in Loughborough?
Just, like, sort of the endurance part of it. Like, we do loads of kick sets, loads of underwater bits. At the end of every session now, we'll do underwater works. So you're getting used to sort of holding your breath more. And just like the general, like I said yesterday, with the strength, like all of that's just sort of coming together now. and it wasn't quite there, but 100 back, I'd say it's really a relatively new event for me. I've only been doing it for a couple of years now, and I think I'm still learning how I swim it and how I can swim it sort of help in the future, and hopefully come the summer it can be under that 54.
Exactly, you're working on it. And what events can we going to see you coming up later in the week?
I have the 100 free tomorrow, a bit of a splash and dash to prep me for the 200 free on Sunday.
Well, congratulations on a great win. We loved watching you in the pool there.
Thank you.
Well, he's having a good meet. Maybe slightly off the time that he was probably hoping for. I would imagine 53.85 was certainly in his scope, but it's a good swim, and that's men's 200 metres freestyle. Well, if you don't watch anything else during this meet, tune in on Sunday night for that men's 200 metres freestyle, because there are more fantastic men's 200 metres freestylers in Britain than there are lanes for that final. So there's going to be some big boys who miss out simply of making the final. Extraordinary. Can't wait for that one. Well, this is going to be really interesting as well. I think I might have said that about 5 times tonight, but yet another one, because we got Molly Renshaw, world ranked number 3, the fastest seed into this final of the women's 200 metres breaststroke. And next to her will be her training partner and teammate from the Loughborough National Centre, world ranked number 7, Abby Wood. Kayla van der Merwe of Winchester leading them out, the European Junior gold medalist on the 100 metres, silver medalist on the 200 breaststroke. Lily Booker of Millfield in lane 7. Swam a lifetime best to come second on the 400 medley. Swam really well last night. Cara Hanlon, Edinburgh University. 4th fastest into this final. And she's going to be right next to Abby Wood. Here is Abby. Well, what a season she's had. She took a little bit of time making the breakthrough from being a brilliant junior to becoming a world-class senior. But in the last 9 or 10 months or so, wow. The International Swimming League, she just took it apart. Broke the British record on the 200 medley, short course. And here she is, Molly Renshaw, the favourite for this final. World ranked number 3, was world ranked number 1 until a short while ago. And her time of 2:22 tied for the British record. Tied by this young lady, Jocelyn Uliot of the Loughborough National Centre. And Jocelyn did the time in winning the British National Championships back in 2017, 2:22.08. That the qualification for the World Championships back in 2017. And then Molly Renshaw did it in Manchester just a month or so ago, tied to 100th. Katie Matz in lane 2 from the City of Manchester Aquatics, World Junior bronze medalist on the 100 metres back in 2015. And then Megan Morrison of Loughborough University completing this lineup of the women's 200 metres breaststroke final of the British selection trials. So Molly Renshaw's time at the Manchester meet, the time trial meet that was held recently, was 2:22.08. Was the fastest in the world, and then Evgenia Chiknova of Russia went half a second faster, 2:21.6, and then 2:20.1 from Tatiana Schoenemaker of South Africa at their trials. Amazing swim there, 2:20.1. So the final of the women's 200 breaststroke, Molly Renshaw, fastest seed, with that purple suit, I'd say, right in the centre, right in the middle of those 2 pink suits. The purple suit in the centre is world ranked number 3, Molly Renshaw. One lane closer to us is Abby Wood in the pink suit. And the second pink suit at the top there, Jocelyn Uliot. .200 metres breaststroke, British Swimming Selection Trials final. And I love watching these breaststrokers swim. This 200 metres, it's such a different stroke. You watch Adam Peaty swim and he's all power and action. He's really tremendously powerful, certainly down that first 25, but the difference here is just wonderful to watch. And look at Molly Renshaw in the middle of those 2 pink suits with that sort of purpley blue suit on. So long, so strong and efficient. It's gorgeous to watch. First to turn is Renshaw, tying the British record held by Jocelyn Ulliott in lane number 3 to 1/100th of a second, 2:22.0. Well, the qualification standard is 2:23.3, so they're going to have to swim pretty quickly. I think at least the top 3 could possibly make that qualification time here. And tactics, I would imagine Molly Renshaw will go out for it. And I would imagine Abby Wood would try and go with her. Certainly Molly's going for it at this first 100. 1:08 is that? That's a good first 100. 1:07.95 at the turn. Renshaw first to turn. 1:07.95. Abby Wood second, 1:08.79. Well, Abby Wood, I think a little bit disappointed early in the week not to make the qualification standard in coming second on that 200 metres freestyle to Freya Anderson. But she's got a cracking chance of doing it here. She's got to bring back this last 60 metres of this final, and she's looking really good at the moment. Leading is Molly Renshaw. Both Molly and Abby, 1 and 2 here, swam for the New York Breakers in the International Swimming League at the end of last year and swam brilliantly, both of them. Really enjoyed it. So it's Renshaw leading with 50 metres to go. Abby Wood in second at the moment. Jocelyn Ulliott in third up there, just 1 lane up. But look at Renshaw. She looks really strong. Coming back is Abby Wood, though. She looks very strong indeed as well. This is a good swim. I'm sure they want to do the time. 2:23.37 is the time that they're looking at. 2:23.3. Molly Renshaw looking good. Wood right on her shoulder. And 2 metres to go. The time is really quick. 2 minutes 20. 2:20.89. That's a new British record for Molly Renshaw. That's a stunning swim. 2 minutes 20.89 for 200 metres breaststroke. The second time, the second finisher was Abby Wood, 2:21.69. So that's second and fourth in the world this year. Wow. Both beating the qualification standard. You can't not take them. That was brilliant. Goodness me, 2:20.8. Second fastest in the world this year for Molly Renshaw. Only just outside of the time that I was just cooing about from Tatiana Schoenemaker of South Africa. Well, I tell you what, that's going to send some shockwaves around the world. I did not expect it to be that quick. Renshaw looked wonderful. Dave Hemmings, the coach of both of these two swimmers, Renshaw and Wood. What a job he's doing. Well, they both had a great short course season, and he wanted them to really keep that momentum going, and that was stunning. Both Renshaw and Abby Wood. Well, it's a massive drop. Over a second from what they both did in Manchester, nearly 2 seconds. And that was a great swim. They're knocking chunks off every single time they come. These are age group drops. These are not senior swimmers drops. What can happen at the Olympics? This is really exciting for Britain. Goodness me. Well, that was an absolutely tremendous swim. Well, we've just seen 2 University of Stirling swimmers go 1-2, well under the qualification standard. We've now got 2 Dave Hemmings Loughborough National Centre swimmers, Molly Renshaw and Abby Wood, doing exactly the same. Ranked 2 and 4 in the world. Club mates, training mates. Wow. Well, I thought they could both do it. I didn't think they'd go that quick. That was amazing. Both love racing, both love performing. Now, Molly Renshaw and Abby Wood talking to Jazz Carling.
Molly, I've seen your coaches celebrating in the stand. A new British record, that must be a great feeling.
Yeah, I think I knew kind of how well I was swimming from Manchester and stuff, so I was excited to just kind of taper down and see what I could do. I've had kind of bad luck with Olympic trials in the past, so I'm glad that's kind of out the way and I've managed to get a consideration time.
Obviously this year you've been so consistent with racing, first best time since Rio. What has gone so right this year?
I think kicking off the season with the ISL, that really helped. I think there was a worry around it whether we would miss out on like vital training for 6 weeks. But I think having that kind of race experience like, against the top in the world, it worked really well for the whole group, and we all came back in great shape. So setting the year off like that really helped.
And to see you qualify with a good friend, teammate, racing next to each other, that must be so good, obviously qualifying with Abby next to you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she trains so hard, probably one of the hardest trainers I know. So to be able to do that with her alongside me, it was amazing.
And obviously this year, with Tokyo coming up, what are your hopes and goals heading into this year?
I think I'd just like to improve on what I did at the last Olympics. I think going there, I was over the moon with making a final, and I think I kind of want to take that next step this year and aim for medals and be on the podium.
Well, we can't wait to watch you there. We're going to welcome Abby, but congratulations on a new British record. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Abby, what can I say? What an incredible swim. You just dipped under the British record too. New best time though, and behind Molly. It must feel great to get that consideration time.
Yeah, it's such a relief. Like after yesterday, I was not gutted, but I just like expected a bit more from myself. So today I was just focusing on the race, and obviously me and Molly pushed each other as best we could, and yeah, it just worked out well.
Oh, it's great to see you smile, and obviously it's been tough moving from the junior to the senior, and we've really seen you have a breakout year this year. What do you think's been the key factors in seeing you really get down to those world-class times?
I just think trusting in my coaches. I never used to be a fan of the gym, and I feel like I've really like bought into the whole program now finally, and it's been a good like 5 years coming, and I'm glad I stuck at it as long as I did, because there was some times where I was definitely like ready to hang up my goggles, but I'm glad I didn't now.
Well, that's so great to hear, and for all the swimmers and your family and all that's supporting you back home. And we've got the 200 IM coming up later in the week. Is there anything else, or are we just seeing in the 200 IM?
Yeah, I'm just excited to see where it can go. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just excited to just race again. I feel like the less I think about it, the better. Like yesterday, I think I just thought about the time too much, and today I just focused on the race, and I feel like I just need to do the same on Saturday.
Well, you should go in with loads of confidence after that. Congratulations on an amazing swim.
Thank you very much.
Well, a fantastic British record to go with that victory and the qualification standard. Molly Renshaw, well, that's definitely a golden ticket to Tokyo, that is. That's a brilliant swim. World rank #2. And I've got to say, if she's able to replicate that in Tokyo, it's taken slower than that to win medals recently at world level. And Abby Wood's time, 4th fastest in the world this year. That was quite tremendous too, 2:21.6. What a night. Well, it took a little bit of time to get going, but once it did, James Guy's 200 fly was brilliant. Women's 100 backstroke outstanding, and then that women's 200 breaststroke. Wow. And here's tomorrow, men's 400 medley. Can't wait for that as well. The Litchfield boys back in again, hammer and tongs it at each other. Women's 200 fly, we got some great 200 flyers, and then the men's 100 meters freestyle, the big boys in. Can't wait to watch that one. Women's 400 free. Holly Hibbert will be going in that one, I think. And then the men's 200 meters breaststroke. Well, we've got James Wilby, the Commonwealth champion there. And of course, Ross Murdoch won the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow 4 years earlier. So some cracking swimming tomorrow. Join us for the heats, 10 o'clock, same channel, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then, of course, the finals at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Share it with your friends. There's been some great swimming so far, and certainly there's going to be some wonderful stuff tomorrow. See you at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.